video today. I'm going to be showing you how I made this neat little tool carrying tray out of some old pallet wood and some scrap plywood. Okay, so I'll be using this, it's just standard pallet wood, it's pretty good stuff. I think it's probably pine, I think. One length probably do it, it's probably about 1100, 1200 long by probably about 100 mil or so. And I'll also be using a piece of old plywood I had in the shed. I've had this for a while now. I think I did some repairs on the on my workbench with it. What's that? Probably 12 mil ply. That'll probably be for the centre section and the handle, and also for the base. I'll be using this piece of A4 plywood. It's quite flexible, but once it's glued and actually tacked to the actual framework, it will be nice and strong. So I'm basically going to cut two lengths, the length of the A4, which is 297, and then two middle bits here, two in between, which is going to be the 210 minus the actual width of the actual pallet wood. And then I'll do the centre section here with a handle. I'll draw a quick plan anyway so you can see exactly what I'm going to be making. Okay, so basically it's going to be an A4, so this is the A4 base, the piece of plywood I showed you, and I'm going to build a couple of walls, or sides I should say, not walls, and then pieces in there like that. So this will be the thickness of the actual timber, and then that bit in there. Ignore the crudity of the plan, it's not to scale. That goes in there like that. And then I'm going to do another piece, which is going to be out of the plywood, which is going to go up like that, and something like that, and then there'll be a hole to grab in the middle there, so that'll be like a middle handle. I did this on a bigger version to keep all my car cleaning stuff in. I'll show you that later. Actually, I made that a few years ago, and this is just going to be a smaller version of that. So it's going to be something like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these pieces of wood now to size, and then we'll have a look at this centre section out of the plywood. So before I continue, I'll just show you my other box that I made a few years ago. As you can see, it's considerably larger than the one we're going to be making. I made this probably 10-15 years ago. Again, it's made out of just plywood, which I've then stained, and then I've put like a bar across here which I've rounded off with my hands, which is nice and smooth. It's just ideal for, you know, if you're doing any detail jobs. You can put all your stuff in there, take it out to the car, and it's all in one place. It's all nice and neat. It weighs a bit, it's nice and sturdy. It's ideal for just basically when I'm doing my detail jobs and things like that. It's got a few stickers on it, they're all coming off. Auto finesse one there, or spoon stickers, really old Japanese performance magazine sticking. People might remember that magazine, it's a really good magazine. Shame it's not going anymore. And they've got some stickers on this side, of course, my guitar strings and bits and pieces, and the YouTube channel sticker as well. So yeah, basically it's going to be like this, just smaller, more compact, just for the socket sets and the odd spanner, etc. Alright, so got the two pieces at 297, and this was 297 minus the width of that. I think it was 11 or 12 mil, I can't remember exactly now. So they will go, I can do this on camera, move that out of the way there, something like that, in between like that. So I need sanding and cleaning up first, and then there'll be another piece in there like that, and then the A4 sheet will go on the bottom, and then this bit I've cut to the 297 again minus the actual width, so that sits in there just like so. It needs a little tiny bit taken off, probably about 1 millimetre taken off one edge. And you see what I've drawn out here. I'm going to cut this out with a jigsaw, and this out with the spade drill bit, and then just cut these and join these out together, so give me a nice sort of handle to grip onto. And basically that's it. It's going to be a very simple shape. Then I can put my tools and sockets on this side, spanners on that side, and just carry them to the car and carry them back. So it's going to be a quite easy little job. So what I'm going to do now is cut this out with the jigsaw and this out, like I said before, and then we'll start sanding it all, making it look nice, and then we'll start joining it together. Right, as you can see, I've made a little bit of progress on the actual handle. I cut this out with a spade drill. I cut it out nice there. It's a little bit rough here. I've got a little bit of filing to do, so I'm going to use a round file just to clean all this up. I'm using a little floppy disc on the drill as well, just to clean these edges up here, make this nice and smooth. It's actually coming nice and smooth on top now, feels really nice. Just got to get it in here all nice and clean all the actual marker pen marks. I should have used pencil really, back in the day I used a Sharpie, so that's going to have to be sanded off before I put the wood stain on it. And then I'll clean all the edges up and sand all the pieces as well, sand all the pieces, get them all nice and smooth. And then I can start building it and gluing it together, which is going to be pretty simple. Some glue and some nails, and then I'm going to stain it all, probably the same stain I used on the Les Paul, which is like a red stain. I may even do this black as well. I did the red stain and then did the aerosol black and then sanded it back. I did this on another video. You might want to see the series. I could put a link somewhere if you want to go and see this guitar build series. It's quite a nice little guitar actually. Keeps going out of tune. It's very bit flat. So it'll be a similar look to this, hopefully, but I'm not going to clear it like I did with this. It'll not be a high finish. It'll just be like a satin finish. So I'm going to do a little bit more sanding. Get a bit dusty in here, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Right, so that's pretty much what it's going to look like when I've used the old Magic Gorilla Glue and some nails just to tack it all together, and then I'll be able to sand it all thoroughly all over, probably with my DA sander and my little detail sander, just to get it all nice and smooth. I've sanded the inside parts, you can see there, sanded all these, so it's all going to be nice when it's all together. And then I'm going to stain it and make it look pretty-ish. Right, so it's actually the next day now, and I'll let this sit overnight, and it's all gone together quite nicely. I have got to now grind all these edges and sand them all, make them all nice and neat and flush, because these are just butt joints with nails and glue. It's not actually any dovetails or anything like that. It's a very basic build, but it's pretty sturdy, quite heavy, which is nice. Sanding stuff in already, so it should be nice and sturdy for my tools, etc. So the next step is going to be lots and lots of sanding, getting all these edges all nice and neat, sand it as much as possible, get it really nice and smooth, and then we can look at putting some stain and some wax on it to make it look a bit more pretty. Right, so I've done quite a bit of sanding and hand sanding as well with this. It's a 240 block, just to give it a nice smooth finish. It feels really nice now. I will give it a bit of a brush off, and then I'm going to be using these stunning stains. It's an actual water-based guitar stain really, like I said. I used it on the Les Paul I did over there. So I'm going to try and make a nice finish with this. I may even do the black detail like I did on that, make it look like a worn antique sort of look, because it's got quite a rough look to it anyway. So I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up anyway, because I'm in the midst of reorganising this workshop. As I go along, everything will become clearer in a future video, why I'm trying to move everything about and organise everything. But I won't go into too much detail about that just yet. So I'm going to put all those in there. It's not very neat, but it's all going to be moved very, very shortly. There you go. Everything down. Shut it down. Right. So I'm going to put some gloves on, because if it's going to stain the wood, it's going to stain my hands. I may put it on with a brush as well, I think, just to make sure it goes on nice and even. Got a nice paintbrush there, so I may dispense a little bit into a little pot. Oh, good glove. Let's see what sort of colour we'll get out of this. I know a little bit goes quite a long way. Nice and clean-ish. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's going to look nice. Get all over the workbench as well, but it doesn't really matter. So then I'll probably finish this off with some finishing guitar oil, just to make it a nice smooth finish. I might even just beeswax it yet. It does look rather orange on camera, but it is actually quite a nice deep red. And if you know me, you know I like red. Yeah, it is actually making the wood fur up a little bit, so I will go over the top and sand it all as well. Maybe with some wire wool just to smooth it all off. I like how it's bringing natural grain out. Not a nail there from the old pallet wood. I'm really pleased with that. I've got to do the bottom yet, but I may even just put, I've got some sticky felt, like almost like a baize. I did it on the other box, so I may just whack a little bit of that on the bottom of there, I think, just to make it look nice, really, more than anything. I'm just going around the actual box now, removing any excess with a little bit of kitchen roll, just putting any excess off, and I'm going to sit it out in the sun because it's 30 degrees again today, which is really nice and cool in here. That's one thing about this workshop, with it being so old, the walls are really thick, so it keeps it nice and cool on a hot day. It's a nice pleasant place to work. So I'm going to let that all dry, and I'm going to give it a coat of wax. I'm tempted to do some sort of graphic on here, but I think I'm just going to leave it. I think that's quite nice. Yeah, rustic. Cobbled together from just bits of pallet wood and some scrap plywood. Needs a bit of a sand when it's dry as well, just to get the nap to go back again, because with it being waterborne, it's actually brought the nap of the wood up a little bit. So when that's dry, I'll give it a light sand, maybe with something like a 500 or something, like I say, with a bit of steel wool, just to soften it up. And then we'll give it a coat of wax. We'll wax some tools in it, see if it falls apart. Okay, so I let this dry overnight. As you can see, it looks really, really nice colour. It still looks a little bit orange on camera, but it is quite a bright red. I'm just going over it now with just a 240 sanding block, just gently taking the nap down, making it all nice and smooth. And then I think I'm going to give it a coat of beeswax. This is just an old beeswax from Waitrose. I've had this for a long time. It smells incredible. I can get the lid open. It's just normal beeswax. Must have lavender or something in this because it smells incredible. If you had smelly vision, you'd be able to appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is get a little dab like that. Smooth that side down with the 240. I'll just show you what I'm going to do first. As you can see, with the wax, the difference it brings out the grain. Like that. Darkens the colour up slightly, gives it a nice sheen. I really like how that grain's coming out on that. Nice sheen to it as well. It's got a really sort of old rustic look. So what I'm going to do now is give a really good coat of wax all over. Put some on YouTube and just chill out. Probably Bow Division, I think, has got a new episode out, so I'll just sit and listen to that while I'm doing this, and then it's pretty much done. We can test it out, whack some tools in it. So, pretty happy with the finish on that. You may have just seen a little time lapse there. I had a little bit of green felt left over from another job. It's got a little patch there, it wasn't quite big enough, but it's underneath, it'll be fine. So I just stopped some scratching any surface if I put it on anything shiny, but I probably won't. It still needs a little bit of work with the wax, a little bit more polishing to be done, just to bring the lustre back up a little bit. But I'm really pleased with how it's come out. It's nice and smooth, rustic looking, which is what I like. If you've seen any of my other pallet wood builds, I like a sort of rustic old shed style piece. You may have seen I did my workbench, made it all out of pallet wood, similar sort of thing. So there we go, there's the finished piece, all nice and neat and done. Really pleased with how it came out actually. Should make it a little bit easier when I'm carrying socket sets and things, stop them from getting lost and rolling about on the floor like they always usually do. The endless search for the 10mm. So I hope you've liked this video and found it interesting. If you have, drop me a comment below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.